Hi, my name is Julie Blackwell, and I'm going to show you about an innovative professional development tool that you can use to support teachers in implementing multimedia or technology within their classroom or their lessons. So this is just ed.ted.com, and from here, once you go to this website, you will click for educators, and it will take you to the educator portal. So from this point, you can choose to register for an account, or you can just choose to browse and see the different resources that TED Ed has for educators. In order to register, all you need to do is click to register. You can sign up using any of these options or use your email. Since I've already signed up, I will log in from here. So the account is entirely free, the site is entirely free to use, which is helpful in designing resources. So TED Ed has all sorts of lessons and different series and also blog posts that teachers can use to build community with other educators as well as to educate them on different practices. So these are all lessons that are created using either TED Ed animation, TED Talks, or other YouTube videos. And these are submitted by teachers who create lessons around these. So in that way, this is a professional learning community because teachers can learn from each other's lessons. That being said, one of the first uses of this when using it in professional development is that it has a huge bank of different lessons that teachers can use and learn from. So for example, if I was doing a lesson on the hero's journey or literature, I could search that and see if there's any resources. This one looks like a popular one that people have used before, so I'm going to browse it here. This has a TED Ed animation, which is really nice because it's a different type of tool to use to help engage visual learners and to help them see a different concept explained in a more interesting way. From there, I have the Watch, Think, Dig Deeper, and Discuss, and this is kind of what TED Ed uses to kind of create their lessons. So first, watch the video. From there, there's often some thinking, reflection questions. After that, dig deeper. There's a lot more resources that people can click on to explore different interviews, different games, different videos, and just some resources to go from there. And then lastly, there's a discussion tool and different questions that they can add for open discussions in this way. I can either share this lesson, but if I like this lesson and I want to use it, but I want to use it in my own way, I can customize the lesson. So now from here, I have the ability to entirely customize this lesson in the way that I want it to work. So I can change my intro piece, add different instructions or links. I can change my questions, my short answer or multiple choice questions. I can add different resources, remove different resources, and I can also change or add discussion questions. So this gives me the ability to entirely customize this for my class, and I can preview it and look at these different features before publishing it. So once I've published my lesson, in order to share it with students, I can require them to use TED Ed accounts, or the easier option to not have accounts, I cannot require it. So they can just get the link to the lesson, they can put their name in, and their answers will still be recorded that way. Once I have the link, I can send it to students for them to fill out directly on the TED Ed website. So this is a really great resource because it has so many ways to learn about new topics and so many different multimedia resources. For teachers who struggle to use different concepts in their classroom or different multimedia, this is a really quick way to do it. It's also for every subject. So when I look at my lessons, I can filter, and I can filter by different subjects based on what I'm looking for. So even with math, which might follow a more typical structure in a classroom, you can use different riddles, you could use different concepts to really get kids thinking more critically about the concepts before you actually just teach it in a way that's more straightforward. So TED Ed will really help teachers find ways to incorporate technology purposely and use it in ways that will create deeper thinking. Another really nice thing about TED Ed is you can actually use their program to help students make their own TED style talks. Lastly, you can also use it for professional development. So you can have teachers create their own conversations or share their own ideas by engaging in their professional development. One way that I hope to use this is I hope to create educator talks. So I'll learn how educators can give their own TED style talks, and I also hope to use this for professional development in that when you create a lesson, you can search for a certain video you might want to use to help teach a lesson. So if I wanted to have my teachers think about the concept of start with the why, which is what we talk about in instructional design, I could pick this video and I could continue by creating an entire lesson around this video and sharing it for a quick learning opportunity with my fellow teachers. I could also have a tutorial video here about how to use a different program, and I could include kind of why we do it, so check for understanding. I could include different examples. So let's say I did a tutorial on quizzes. I could include the websites, I could include examples, and lastly, I could have a discussion space for teachers to ask questions and communicate with each other to answer these things. So I think this tool is really great because it can be used not only for students but also in creating meaningful professional development, and it has a wide bank of resources for teachers to pull from.